It has been said, Jesus speaking, anyone who divorces his wife must give her a certificate of divorce. But I tell you that anyone who divorces his wife, except for sexual immorality, makes her, listen to this, makes her the victim of adultery. Anyone who marries a divorced woman commits adultery. Now, it's really bad. So if I divorce my wife who hasn't been sexually unfaithful and I move on, now, if she goes ahead and marry, I now made her an adulteress.
Yeah.
And if you marry that divorced woman, you're an adulterer.
Oh yeah, I can see it. Yeah, I know yeah.
Now, you see how complicated it is, right?
That, yeah, that's definitely adds each verse adds an extra layer of uh complexity as
Right?
far as like understanding it more deeply,
Mhm.
and like
So,
the, yeah, the prohibits and what's acceptable. Yeah.
again, listen, guys. This one says, if I am a Christian man married to a Christian woman, I divorce her, and she goes and marries someone else, she's now an adulteress, and the man who marries an adulterer, even though I divorced her. But then it says, except for sexual immorality. Does that mean if I divorced my wife because she was sexually unfaithful, I am free and she's not?
No, right?
I don't know. What are you talking about? You're like, I got the answer?
I feel like you're coming to that answer. I'll be
No, I
honest.
wasn't. I was telling you how complex the issues are.
All right.
Then if we add Paul, Romans 7, verses 1 and 3. Okay. You want me to make it more complex?
Sure.
Okay. It'll be fast. Now, for the rest of you, you want me to make it more complex for the rest of you? You guys want to go to sleep? Everyone listening? Paul, do you not know, brothers and sisters, for I'm speaking to those who know the law. He's now saying the law of Moses, that the law has authority over someone only as long as that person lives. If you're alive, you're bound to the law. But if you're dead, you're free from the law, right?
Right.
Okay, so as long as I'm alive, I'm bound to the law. That law has authority over someone only as long as the person lives. For example, by law, a married woman is bound to her husband as long as he is alive.
Mm.
But if her
Okay.
husband dies, she is released from the law that binds her to him. No exception clause. As long as you're both alive, you are bound to each other until one of you die. So then, if she has sexual relations with another man while her husband's still alive, she's called an adulteress. But if her husband dies, she's released from the law and is not an adulteress if she marries another man. He's saying the law of Moses, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Here he says you're bound. But we know that's not the case because Deuteronomy 25 tells us, I'm sorry, Deuteronomy 24, verses 1 of 4 tells us that Moses said, when you give your wife a certificate of divorce, right?
Yep.
She marries another man, you can't take her back, right?
That's what it says. Yeah.
So the law of Moses says no. There are situations when you can divorce and you will divorce. But Paul says, the law says, you're bound till you die. Because Paul is simply giving you what we call a summation. He's not going into detail. He's not giving you the background. Well, there are exceptions. He's just getting to the point. If I'm married, she's married, we're bound together until one of us die. So his whole point is, you and I, if we're married to a woman, the law says we are bound till we die. And only
Right.
when we die, we're freed. But we know Paul can't be perverting the law. He knows the law. So obviously, he's simply generalizing because Paul is not then taking consideration. Well, what if the wife does X? Is the man bound? Well, Paul knew very well as a rabbi, there were two schools of thought saying if your wife did something, she then violated the marital covenant, the marriage contract. But you see how complex it gets?
Yeah. It does. It does get complex. You're right.
All right, you thought that was complex. All right.
Okay. I was wrong. There's more.
Yep, First Corinthians.
But wait, there's more.
That's right. I'm used to saying these things because every person has his own unique expressions and idioms. Like with William, I'm pumped, I'm thrilled. Right? Listen,
Right.
all right. 1 Corinthians 7, 10 to 11. You ready?
Let's go.
I don't know what this guy Don Amadud is saying. I don't know why they're tolerating him. Now, guys, watch how more confusing gets. He's saying the Lord Jesus, while he was on earth, said this about believers. To the married, I give this command, right? Not I, but the Lord. The Lord, while on earth, is giving these commands. He addressed this issue. A wife must not separate from her husband. But if she does, she must remain unmarried or else be reconciled to her husband. Did you catch it? If you're two believers, baptized believers who know Christ, all you can do is remain separate or return, but you can't divorce and remarry. That's what Paul said Jesus taught. But if she does, she must remain unmarried or else be reconciled to her husband. An husband must not divorce his wife. Period. End of story. No exception.
You want to give him two options there.
What do we do?
You tell me, Sam. Help me out here.
It depends on the church you belong to. You see why even
Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot. Yeah, I guess I see your point. Yeah, I see
the
your point.
apostolic churches,
Yeah.
they also differ because why? This is an indication that there may have been some confusion even among the early Christians because they may not have gotten clarity from the apostles. Because remember, some issues were more important than other issues. Not that marriage isn't important. So as these issues came to the forefront and they became more pressing, marriage, receded into the background, right? Because they
Yep.
had other issues to deal with, like Docetism and Gnosticism and so on and so forth. So that by the time things became much more relaxed and they can focus on more practical theology, practical application, this is where the Christians would agree to disagree and have difference of opinion. No Catholic Orthodox believes that all Christians everywhere were unanimous in every doctrine. Nobody believes that. So the teaching goes like this. When we see Christians unanimously, in unanimity, saying X, we take that as being a teaching by the Spirit, because the Spirit will make sure that the church does not agree on error. And if we
Right.
find that a majority of Christians believe X, we will side with the majority because it's less likely the majority will be wrong than the minority, unless we have strong reasons that the majority was influenced by one opinion, whereas the minority have an opinion that's older. You with me there?
I see you. Yeah.
The third is when we see no majority or no unanimity, but they're all disagreeing, that means the Spirit is giving freedom to agree to disagree. And the Spirit is not making it dogmatic. You with me there?
Yeah. The spirit is working more when everybody's in agreement.
It's not that he's working on it. It means the Spirit wanted them to all agree on this.
Okay.